Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, publishing tips and tricks in 5 minutes because we believe in tiny talks, powerful tips, and all the unedited messiness.
Today, we're going to talk about finding mentors in writing and publishing.
Yeah, this is important. And, we're both book coaches. For you, Kathy, what's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
So, editors and coaches are paid to do work for you. And a mentor is someone who's been through what you're going through and is willing to give you advice. They're an experienced advisor. And I've been fortunate to have some great mentors along the way. How about you?
Well, this is interesting because as I was looking through the notes for this morning, I really started thinking about mentors and coaches because I think so often those two words become interchangeable, and we think that mentors are not paid and coaches are just paid. And so I started thinking about, well, who have been my mentors and my coaches, and then there's teachers. But when I really started thinking about mentors and coaches, it was hard for me to separate the two, especially when it comes to writing, because over the last decade, I have hired a lot of various coaches for various things over the years. Have they been mentors? I with your definition, I don't really know if I would consider them mentors. They've been predominantly coaches. So I was looking at these notes, and I was thinking, oh, wait a minute. I feel like I have missed something. I've learned a lot from all the coaches, but part of that knowledge I've gotten from them, it's been transactional. And, that's to me, that's kind of too bad.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, when you're starting out, you're not going to know that many people in the industry, right? And so you are going to want to hire people. There's nothing wrong with gaining knowledge from teachers you hire at all. And finding mentors really takes investing in being a part of the literary community, and that takes time. So shortcut is definitely hiring a good coach. But, once you've been there a while and you meet people, you'll find people who are, ahead of where you are. And a lot of times they'll be willing to give you some good advice. I mean, I have a friend and mentor, Nancy Yeager, who's written many books and several series, and she's helped me so much along the way, especially when I was writing the second book in my series. That was a tough one because you have to give new readers enough information so the book can stand on its own, but you also don't want to bore the people who've read the first book with lots of backstory. And so Nancy really helped me figure that out, and that was great. Um, and I've never met the second person I consider to be a mentor. Her name is Pamela Kelly. She's also written many books and several series, and she's an expert at marketing her books. And she shares important how-to advice and information online in several Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And her generosity has helped so many writers with advertising, book
Mhm.
launch strategies, and other issues. And I'm really grateful to these women and to the other mentors I've had along my journey.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I know I've mentored people, and I love mentoring people, but I think one of the things that we often forget is being grateful and remembering to thank the people who help you. I find that, it's the proper etiquette to thank somebody, but sometimes we just get busy and we don't remember, or we, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. And like, now I'm off script here and I've lost my notes. So this is part of the messiness. Because with a coach, with a writing coach or a writing teacher, it's not the mentor's job to help you. They they can be easily taken advantage of. And I think that's one of the reasons as I'm thinking about who have been my mentors. I think a lot of people, especially in the writing and publishing industry, have gotten burned being mentors and they don't want to mentor people anymore. And oftentimes newer writers, they tend to need a lot. And so you have to be really careful to not take more than a mentor is willing to give you. And one, I would say somebody who I know, who does an amazing amount of mentoring for the indie writer community is Craig Martell. I mean, he has mentored thousands of writers. And it's not necessarily personally, but his Facebook groups, his conference, he really believes in helping writers wherever they are become better writers and better business people. So yeah, that's you got to be careful that you don't burn out mentors.
Right. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said, including Craig, who just put out a workbook on author estates. I mean, he just never stops. It's amazing.
He's yeah.
And I'm happy to mentor people, but you're right. When they keep coming back and expecting more and more, it's time to get them into a coaching program or set some boundaries or something. You know, there's an etiquette to this.
Yeah.
But and also be willing to give, be willing to be a mentor to others because there's always people behind you in the process.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, in that way, it makes the industry better because writers are willing to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the nicest things about this industry is how willing people are to help. So when you're on the receiving end of that help, it's really important to be grateful and not burn those people out because there's lots of people who need help.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
You know, don't know that I would consider him a mentor. Well, I wouldn't, but I once saw a beautiful cover in my genre, and I reached out to the author, and I'm like, "Who is your cover designer? You have this great cover." You know, and he was willing to send me the name of his cover designer, and she's now my cover designer, and she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so there is this great give and take in the writing community. Don't take advantage of it. I mean, take advantage of it, but don't fail to give back. Don't fail to thank people. You know, don't be that person. But
Yeah.
it is this wonderful industry, you know, unlike a corporation where you may be told to be someone's mentor or, you know, you may be assigned a mentee. This is just an industry where it happens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, enjoy that, learn from everyone you can learn from, and teach those coming up behind you.
Absolutely. So now that we've given you a little bit of advice, get back to writing so you have a book to publish. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.